Hi, Juliet. I just wanted to finish where we are up to get up to 2018, and then I'll go back to the beginning and tell you how all this started and why things happened the way they did. And for anybody from Lori's friends or family that are listening, it's not going to get very pretty from this point on. And it's not going to put Laura in a good light. I even say, well, maybe making this stuff up. Well, now I'm reading emails. Uh, you know, uh, somehow skewing the story, or we're going to believe Lori no matter what you say, and that's probably going to be the truth. But anyway, I had mentioned going to a PTA meeting and say that, I know some people at the school, and she writes back, well, interesting, why is that? And then she writes, I now see that I never sent this when I wrote. It was saved as a draft. It's curious as to why she started off her email that way. I don't know. Maybe like she felt that way all along or for a long time or whatever. But we're into November 6th of 2017. I have waited 5 weeks since the end of order of protection and was so positive that things were going to go well and everything was going to be fine. And I bring up just the possibility of going to the PTA meeting, I actually never did go. No. But anyway, Juliet's doing something different now. It's a program that treats her depression, anxiety, and catches up with schoolwork. We learned a lot, like core anxiety is inadequacy. Feeling inadequate in school has been debilitating. Some of your parenting strategies made her woefully inadequate. Okay, here's what they call the odd hominin attack. Okay, Juliet, she turns your problem into me causing it. All right, that's one of the things that she is steadfast on. The other one is that it's not her, that it's you that doesn't want to see me. It has nothing to do with her. She's not getting in the way. But back to the letter. Even with the best intentions, you did and said things that made her feel inadequate and felt self-loathing. Cumulatively, it had a large impact on her self-esteem. Come off the letter now. Well, maybe that's true, How can you blame me? What they say about best intentions. She remembers you as a rager, raging on, I'll tell you why I'm laughing, raging on her when you had a bad day or a bad mood or a bad pain day and taking it out on her. That made her think she must be the worst person in the world. I'll tell you, that happened maybe a couple of times where I was in a bad mood and, it was kind of like, but I never took it out on her, that's just wrong. I apologize, and I'm not a perfect person. The funny thing is a rager is a partier. She used the wrong word, rager is a person who goes in dance clubs all nights and things like that. She probably means she remembers you as a person that tends to get into a rage. It's just kind of funny using that term. I don't think she understands what the word rager means. The day you threatened us on the phone. Now we're back to the order protection stuff. Now we're back to the script. All right, she realizes she made a huge mistake by not sticking to the script in September when she didn't say that was why she did what she did. And she said, when you threatened us on the phone, something was wrong with you. You may not have been drinking as you insist. You see, Here we go. This is what's called gaslighting. You know, she's taking something and saying, you know, well, you may not have been beating Juliette, or you may not have been inappropriately touching her. Yeah, it's just like, you know, it's a way of incriminating somebody without it, by saying that they didn't do it. But there was some kind of substance abuse or terribly bad reaction to medication. What on earth? Substance abuse, terribly bad reaction to medication? How, where does she even begin to come up with these conclusions like that? You know, I was enraged. Okay, that's a better word. You called Juliette's cell phone number multiple times. She was shaking in terror. All right, let me point out something to Juliette's friends and family that might be listening to. I did call a number of times on the infamous night where a lot of emails were passed back, and I called because I wanted to talk to Juliette, and Lori answered the phone, and she said that I was, and this came out in court too. This came out in court, and in court they really came down on Lori, your mother, for doing this. And I said, have you got this on speakerphone? And she was letting you hear the argument on speakerphone, and she said you were shaking in terror. How horrible would it be that she put that argument on speakerphone to let you hear it so that you would be terrified of me? My God. And the next day, going back to the letter, the next day you called and your voice was remorseful, sad, calm, and I knew that you had behaved badly, and said you wanted to forget the night before. Press the reset button, so to speak. I can go back to an email where she acknowledges that, and she's known me for 30 years, that this is kind of how I am. I get really mad about something, you know, and then I sleep on it, and she knows that. She recognizes that. She'll just say, talk to you tomorrow until I calm down. And thing, I have an email that proves that she knows and says that exact same thing back to the email. All that drama made her a stress mess. She said that if she had to keep going and seeing you, she would rather not exist. Wow. That was the final straw for me. I had to protect her. And since you made, so I had to protect her. I had to do something. I had to make up a story. Or my lawyer told me to make up something that would stick in court, is what she's trying to say. All right? She says, go on an email. And since you made public remarks on Facebook, what about terrible person I am, that I'm keeping your child away from you, and it's my fault. What? Where? Show me. She's reading my Facebook? How is she reading my Facebook? I never said that on Facebook. It's a dream. She's, you know, it's gaslighting. It's what's called gaslighting. It never happened. I never talked about this stuff on Facebook. And if I just, you know, and how is she reading my Facebook? When she thought, back to the letter, when she thought she might have to face you in court, that made her an enormous stress mess. Well, who the hell took me to court? When CPS called, thanks to you, and I did call CPS because, you know, I needed somebody to have another look at the situation, and because I didn't know what the hell was going on. That was traumatic and made her a stress mess. You know, well, why did you have to tell her who CPS were and why they were there? And, you know, it's like, you know, well, I have never explicitly told her she must sever all ties with you, which I know is what you think I've endorsed. Okay, now she's telling me what I'm thinking. It's very sad to say that she is one person that she's the one person who cannot bear to see you. There is trauma involved. Well, yes, I supported and protected her. It was her wishes that motivated me. She does not want to see you. She's putting it all on your shoulders, Juliette. She is saying, don't blame me. It's your daughter that hates you. She has pushed aside now. She has pushed that aside now, and only at the program she's attended I have seen that she is mature enough to confront that trauma with the therapist. There is a correlation between her experiences with you and her anxiety and depression. Okay? If there is, it's only a small part, because the bullying, you're getting angry, it's this is a huge problem, where she thinks if Juliette had schizophrenia, and she would say that, oh, I'm the one that caused it. And now this letter just gets worse. Okay? It just gets worse. We both know there is family genetics. Both sides of the family, meaning my side and my half-sibling side. Anorexia with Diana, obesity with Lila, my half-sister. Diana's my half-sister's daughter. I remember she called me one time years ago saying goodbye because she wanted to commit suicide. I told her she can't go away like that because we need her to be on Earth. Sometime later, she told me my words influenced her to stay alive. Now she thinks I'm a monster because I'm keeping you away from your child for no good reason. My sister told me that never happened. And my sister read this. She finally woke up to the fact that there's something wrong with your mother. There's something wrong with Lori. This is crazy. This letter is crazy. And this letter's not over. I'm going to have to continue it. Because, well, I'll finish her part. You would have to believe that I'm punishing you because you did not let us move to Florida. Tick that box. Yeah, that's right. That's why she's punishing me. No question about it. When I wanted to move, I had no job and no income. Bullshit. Your mother had a job. She had income. All right. I wanted Juliette to experience life in her childhood with lots of a loving family. You prevented all of that. Now she's older and none of that matters. So, being around a loving family, your mother, your father, your brother, your sister, now none of that matters. Hello? Is anybody from the Israel family listening to this? Now that she's older, being around you guys doesn't matter anymore? I don't need to support the family the way I wanted when she was little. Well, if you call 15 little, you should have moved to Florida when she was 4, or when we split up when she was 3. Your mother came to live with you and raised Juliette. I don't act like I'm talking to Laura, I'm talking to Juliette. I am finishing this now. I am forever pained that I wasn't allowed to be part of Jen or Winnie's end days. Do you remember when you told me Jenny wouldn't want me at her funeral because she hated me? For Christ's sake, she never even told me she passed away. Well, your mother did hate my father's wife. I wasn't that fond of her myself, but, this does not have any impact on the situation with Juliette, but it does show that you are alienating me from everyone on your side of the family. I'm alienating her from everyone on my side of the family. Are you crazy? How about alienating me from everyone on her side of the family? Where are they? These people that were my friends and my family for 12 years. How messed up, she writes, how messed up is that? If either of the 2 therapists you have been seeing lately is helping you, that's a good thing. I will not try to convince Juliette or force her to try out a group therapy or therapy session. She's not ready for that, and she is old enough to decide for herself. She has made that clear she doesn't want to see you, and I have no incentive to see you myself. You have been quite a bastard, if you must know. This is why I really can't stand you. I will always advocate for Juliette, protect her, help her, and promote her well-being. This is the sympathy and empathy that somebody has for somebody who's put somebody else through 21 months of hell. This is unbelievable. There's something wrong with your mother, Juliette. I'm sorry to say. This is not the response of a rational, normal human being. And everybody has said this to me, including my therapists. And I'm going to expand on this more because there's no end to this lunacy, the craziness of what she said. Your mother has clearly lost it, and told me in no uncertain terms that get lost. I'm not gonna let you see Juliette. I'm not gonna talk to you. Not gonna see you. Too effing bad. And you can imagine how my heart sank. It's unbelievable, unbelievable.